Mind racing, thoughts pacing back and forth and back. Many that rap thoughts are whack. It's not hard for me to see when I hear their tracks. Probably have the Biggie blunt raps and weed next to the crack. Plus scared of facts, claim to be conscious, not cognizant that your complexion is olive tone, not black. I come to the conclusion that most of y'all are blind as bats and braille readers, sold to corporate states by the same leaders that sold out messiahs, prophets, and God sense. Most need mental body shops cause their minds got dense, mind got sense. I find it's not too common, and thinking before you act is too foreign. Exchange whack rappers' music, let those frauds walk. Fill your MP3 player with civil alert shows from Blog Talk. Connect back to your nation, stop public serving, slaving, and hating. Only divine movement can stop your mind from racing. Mind's racing cause you're not thinking enough. Too much TV, too much Waka Flocka, too much Wheezy, too much seedless green weed and seedless fruits. Not enough organic hip-hop and breakbeat loops. Not enough old school samples and Orisha candles. I used to be on the corner more than those bums panhandle. Then my mind started racing, had to leave those streets. Like I left dairy, drinking alcohol and red meats. Got with mind racing, thoughts pacing back and forth and back. Many that rap thoughts are whack. It's not hard for me to see when I hear their tracks. Probably have the Biggie blunt raps and weed next to the crack. Plus scared of facts, claim to be conscious, not cognizant that your complexion is olive tone, not black. I come to the conclusion that most of y'all are blind as bats and braille readers, sold to corporate states by the same leaders that sold out messiahs, prophets, and God sense. Most need mental body shops cause their minds got dense, mind got sense. I find it's not too common, and thinking before you act is too foreign. Exchange whack rappers' music, let those frauds walk. Fill your MP3 player with civil alert shows from Blog Talk. Connect back to your nation, stop public serving, slaving, and hating. Only divine movement can stop your mind from racing. Mind's racing cause you're not thinking enough. Too much TV, too much Waka Flocka, too much Wheezy, too much seedless green weed and seedless fruits. Not enough organic hip-hop and breakbeat loops. Not enough old school samples and Orisha candles. I used to be on the corner more than those bums panhandle. Then my mind started racing, had to leave those streets. Like I left dairy, drinking alcohol and red meats. Got with ones in full life, left the dead peeps to be civilly dead, running from pigs with the heat and handcuffs and attitudes. Colored authority figures used to get my mind racing when they called me nigga. Going in my pockets, all my rights they abused. Had to learn hard. Ignorance is not an excuse. I choose to never be abused again. I learned my lesson. I know there's no half stepping with my mental Wesson. My heart just won't stop racing. 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 My heart just won't stop racing.
Moorish assassin, anonymous in the building. All Moroccans. What? Think I fell off or fell out, but when I yell out, I ain't afraid to tell the sellouts to get the hell out of the temple. You defile your temple, get the shell out. It's contaminated, get the smell out. You overrated, and I know you hate it. What does Canaanland Moors do?
More rich works for national progress and Moors do. Not need no fighting on YouTube to get views. We elevating minds, revealing more jewels. So who got next on the Pro Tools? Yes, my bar's next rhyme is the Moors on the rise, so you get where I'm coming from.
Young Moors say they thirsty and hungry for knowledge. Most of us never been university or college. Yo, wheel that. Moorish assassin, anonymous in the building. All Moroccans. What? Think I fell off or fell out, but when I yell out, I ain't afraid to tell the sellouts to get the hell out of the temple. You defile your temple, get the shell out. It's contaminated, get the smell out. You overrated, and I know you hate it. What does Canaanland Moors do?
More rich works for national progress and Moors do. Not need no fighting on YouTube to get views. We elevating minds, revealing more jewels. So who got next on the Pro Tools? Yes, my bar's next rhyme is the Moors on the rise, so you get where I'm coming from. The people, nature hold the sequel. It's illusion,
is what they see instead. Promise I carry out the better or worse. I make that promise, I carry out the works for my holy prophet. Stop it, if you think you can. This topic is way over your head. And most talk shit, cause they can't comprehend. An optic illusion is what they see instead. Most talk shit, cause they can't comprehend. An optic illusion is what they see instead, huh?
Read through, it's just info. No, we never been po. Paper to the people, nature hold the sequel. Until the mind reads the climb from divine. Stuck in time, missing signs, oh the line is the people. And yes, I want you for your heads up. It's your birthright, like wake up. I'm on the raise up, playing got the stakes up. My fire to the Jake's cut, many are just caked up.
They say in God we trust, but really and truly, all we got is us. And you can't fool me, I know God is us. And we unruly, from the womb corrupt. Take off the veil, the facade is up. Move like turtle and snails in a barrage, I'm up. Like Chester made steel in a mirage, we stuck. Still I know we gon' prevail, cause Allah is what?
All praise do be to Allah. We shout it out, records from scriptures on the wall. Before that, look to the stars, no holds barred.
Timely slipping, this it goes far. Yo, it's coming like stories show raw. Opposites on the planet, but humans that work hard planning to have it.
All my excavation.
To my birthright, Lord war. Yo, maybe for your bloodline, maybe for the oath that you took or the contract you signed. Constitutional fraud, boy, sign line to get sidelined. I come from seeds of divine lines.
Seeds of divine lines.
Make noise in the building. You know what it is. Stay in the building.
Never to the tomb.
This is a homage beat.
Hell's hot, but get cold with this winter. My earth takes a break, quake cities off the cliff down. Deep sea into mountain, continental shift. The continent could drown. A rip, there's more. Think not, you don't know what I'm into. Where I'm at, it's all in the mental. Smash all instrumentals round me. It's all about my circle squared up. With my nature, fear not. Love, bravery, am I didn't make her. She made me to create her will. The home she in, shape her skin, contain her frame, no minor. She a major win, angel and grew up educated on the demons, veiny, scaly wings, ranger paper bullshit, the mother cup for that. Got nothing to pack, Negro black colored, on the chopping block, still on the blocks, chopping whatever they rap, rob, recover the chop, the world's shaking. Still my words, just take it in, hear me speaking out to you.
This is a homage beat.
With this winter, my earth takes a break, quake cities off the cliff down, deep sea into mountain, continental shift. The and I love bravery. I didn't make her, she made me to create her will. The home she in, shape her skin, contain her frame, no minor. She a major win, angel and grew up educated on the demons, veiny scaly wings, ranger paper bullshit, the mother cup for that. Got nothing to pack, Negro black colored, on the chopping block, still on the block, chopping whatever they rap, rob, recover the chop, the world's shaking. Still my words just take it in, hear me speaking out your ear holes. How can you retain a quote? Stop, your brains bang, shot, but still you won't crow. Commander in chief, masters turn sheep at the battle. You stay chattel to eat, and wolf from my white beats. At times a werewolf, they attack me and turn food for the garden. Cold water make a black sea. Black male, black coat, black blue. Black list, black ball, black shoes. Black male, black cheese, black news. No such thing as a black man. Black male, black coat, black blue. Black list, black ball, black shoes. Black male, black cheese, black news. But no such thing as a black man. Roses all red, green, gun, cop a shot, pop, bust, then he left, didn't leave no weeds, no seeds. I'm his skull and his backbone, ripped with his voice tone. Moms are saying a heartbeat, consanguinity though. Constant bork bites, now I'm civil. I get you with my pen, no more dog fights or scribbles. Enforcing treaties, I'ma cost you greedy. Dressed in costumes to greet me. You think you know how this is gonna end? Really? Show the beginning. Apocalypse now, the dead don't know about the living. And why I can't kill them, and why I try to lift them. Stand, more mass don't make you a bigger man. It's mental. You just keep going. Black male, black coat, black blue. And they just keep black list, black ball, black shoes. Black male, black cheese, black news. They just no such thing as a black man. Black male, black coat, black blue. They just keep black list, black ball, black shoes. Black male, black cheese, black news. But no such thing as a black man.
Sleepy-headed Moors. And that's another thing that people think, well, nobody's a Moor unless Prophet knows the Jew or unless they came through the temple or whatever. And that's just a blatant untruth because the Prophet himself told you to go to and read out of the Message to America, which is part of his literature. I'm sure the brother agrees. He's telling you right there, yo, you were Moors. I'm coming to wake you up and let you know that you're not Negro, colored, and black. You're Moors and you've been Moors for a while. So why people take a position that, you know, we're not Moors unless we go through the temple when the prophet himself is a universal prophet and came to tell us and remind us who we were and wake us up. Why is all this offense that people are taking to that? You know, I mean,
So we're just gonna go. We're just gonna go. Just show you how the traders and the sellouts, even when people are getting lessons where, you know, this is the mother talking, so you're supposed to have your pen and all that stuff taking notes. You know what I mean? You're supposed to have your hands free to be in a chat, to be typing something. Right? And there they go right there. Can she present any facts or evidence to prove her point? Really? rvbaypublications.com. That's where the point's going to be proven. Go there
I bet you the point gets proven if you go there. Right? There again. Can she just let us know where Noble Drew Ali even said that gyno word? I'll look it up for myself. All these patriarchs who keep disrespecting the mother, right? Even to her face, disrespecting her. Because we warn you people, right? We're the warning to you. Don't mess around, because when the mothers start talking, everybody's getting their ass beat. Right? Stop jumping on the couch, because you know when she comes home, she's beating everybody's ass. And then you're going to have to go get your ass beat by your dad after. And then if grandma finds out and granddad, they got to beat your ass. Then Uncle John down there who gave you the bike, he gets to beat your ass because you're out of order. But nah, you want to go jumping on the couch. Warning people. Don't let the mothers talk. If the mothers talk, you guys are going to have problems. And you're going to be complaining that they're mean and all that type of stuff. Well, no, you've been a dumbass. You need to get your ass beat now. That's just where it's at. That's just where it's at. Don't get mad. You know what I mean? Go to your room and cry, because you need to get your ass beat. You know? And better Moors do it than, you know, it's because certain people are going in your records and stuff like that, pulling out your stuff. Right? So, forget typing in the chat. The mother is responding to, is Noble Drew Ali teaching matriarchy? Or is he some patriarchal Roman soldier?
It's just craziness.
And that's the thing, Roz. And that's the thing with these cats. It's like, yo.
And you're only listening to when the mother talks. When the testes are talking. When the testes are talking. That a breeze blows on man testes and you're covering up. Talking about you're some masculine whatever. Get the hell out of here. The hell out of here. Unless you're a silver fox, you can't hide the testes. So stop playing like you're the man. You're not the man. You didn't realize he had to be a woman in order to be the master? You don't get it? Right? Remember, hid the testes. Why do you put the testes inside him? Oh yeah, because they're ovaries. The martial arts movie. People say that they're repping some breaking boards and stuff like that as if that's some masculine thing. You have to harness the divine feminine to hide your testes so nobody could beat you in the fight. So as soon as they go for the last spot and they do the super kick to your nuts and nothing's there, they know that they messed up. Because that's the lowest blow that you could do. Right? To be the god martial arts guy. Because everybody's going to go for the testes as the last move. Like, what else is there? You know what I mean? Like, we're going to, forget sand in your face. All the bullets are done, just laying there bloody, whatever, you're getting the last one. Imagine you hit it. And then you're not realizing that, wait a minute, if he hid the testes, then that means he became a woman. And that's how he was able to be the master arts guy that everybody get their ass beat. Because the divine feminine, these people playing games with you, that Drew Ali didn't tell you about matriarchy and didn't push matriarchy as a theme. But what did Noble Drew Ali say? Man knows not by being told. Oh, so if you know not by being told, then the only way you're gonna know is by experience, isn't it? You're really only gonna know by experience if man knows not by being told. So anything you were told, throw that stuff in the garbage. That's nothing. What do you know? We know that Noble Drew Ali pushed matriarchy. A nation is feminine. The hell are you talking about? Nobody's nation is masculine. Who has a masculine nation? Name them. Name the country with a masculine. And I bet you the ones that aren't pushing the feminine, I bet you those are the ones that turned corporations and sold out the people and all that stuff and has the country in shit while people live in their mansions. They disrespected the matriarchy. So we're not listening to any other than myself right now. When I push play on this thing, all you're listening for is when the mother's talking. If anybody else is talking, they're irrelevant. All you're listening for is when the mother's talking. That's it. You're not listening to anything else. Because you're going to hear a lot of BS coming and trying to take your thought away from the mother. Don't let them do it. Just like meditation. I was talking with one of my yogi instructors last night. In the meditation, they get you to focus on something. And then the mind drifts off into whatever. And then you focus on something. And then the thing that you focused on wasn't the original thing that you were supposed to be focused on in the first place. So they train them that it's really about stillness. It's really about calming the vibration opposed to focus. And she went to Himalayas and all that stuff. No dummy. And again, that's a matriarch that dropped that. Because she's tapping it on a different level. So all you're listening to is mother right now.
Because you're not in a building. Go out to the world and teach these people. Go to the people.
Well,
you know what I mean? I'm like,
the original temple is.
You ain't said nothing that Noble Drew Ali said. Prove the point.
brother, number one. And I said
that in chapter 1. Read chapter 1.
He didn't say Allah was no woman. He didn't say
you know what? Honestly, Raj, you know the problem.
Muhammadan faith.
Right.
What happened to that?
He has a problem. He's one of those dudes.
What happened to the Muhammadan faith?
I'm ready to get rid of him, dude. I'm out. This is the problem with these dudes.
That's horrible.
It is very. Because he has an issue with women. He's probably one of the ones that beat up women, disrespect women, curse women out. I can tell it. I wasn't even yelling, wasn't I, Ephraim? He's probably one of those dudes that's doing that. And they try to justify why. Because I guarantee you he did it. Come on, man.
Study like the prophet said. If he study like the prophet said, and if he really is going to go in and look into the Arabic of the word Allah, he is going to find that it's a feminine word. Because everyone comes from a mother. Man is mine.
Unless they have an issue with, listen, Roz, I said this and I'm going to say this again. A lot of these woke cats, right, are basically colonized. That's it. Oh, well, somebody, Professor C said Matthew 6:33. What is Matthew 6:33?
The Bible tells you I know, and the Bible tells you to submit to each other.
To even have this discussion about about man, which is both a specimen of female, that means man with a womb, and man without a womb. To even have these discussions and argue about those facts that can't be denied, it shows the level of how much we haven't awakened. It really does.
And that's all I've been saying, Roz. That's all I've been saying. You can tell that how we're not woke. Because I'm going to be real with you. I have no issue with nobody. And Roz known me for a long time. We got issue. We get on the phone with each other. We talk as brother and sister and fix it. I don't have an issue with nobody. Now, if you got an issue with Sabir, that's your problem. I don't have an issue with nobody. You know? What'd you say, Rob?
Well, I still don't, you know, like all of this shows is how much we had not figured out that this is the uniting of Asia, which is the entire planet. It just proves that we just haven't gotten in there. We're tripping over, the brother said, obey your husband. Like, what is he talking about? It says obey your wife too, because we both have different responsibilities inherent within us that, and it says it to obey both. So what is the point? What is the point there? So it just shows that I don't care how long he's been in the temple.
Well, they ain't been in that long. I can tell you, Roz, let me help you out. These dudes probably been in a couple of years and ran with it. I'm going to be buck with you. They have not been in it long enough.
Well, here's what I like to say. As a woman, all right, whatever he wants to put it all down. When I was out on the hedges and the highways, which is where he's supposed to be as a missionary, I didn't see them. I didn't see him.
I didn't see none of these cats.
With a fez on. But yet, as a woman, I was out on the hedges and the highways. So does it matter? Does it matter? Because I didn't see him. I didn't see them. I didn't see that the temple had already closed their doors and acted as if they were a private meeting or club. Now the prophet himself said, I'm taking the covers off of all secret society.
The prophet said aloud, listen.
They turned around and they made it a secret club. So he can't point fingers and not look at himself. And so what I see is not just him, but many of them. You know, so even, like I said, even as a woman, you do the work. It doesn't really matter as long as the work is done. And so, like, why would he want to personally attack anyone if he truly was about love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice? This type of conversation couldn't even be going on right now.
Exactly.
Like him holding on to, well, Allah is not feminine. The prophet didn't say that. Some things he didn't have to say because you were supposed to study and figure it out. But what's happening? Oh, absolutely. He said that I told you only the half. So that means that if the brother would take a second and go look up the word, he would find that what I'm saying is in fact true. But will he humble? Does he have enough humility about himself to say, you know what, you're right? And then this thing about, it says in there to obey your husband. Well, it says in there to obey your wife. So what is the point being made here? There is no point being made here. It's not about that. We have different responsibilities and social duties. He needs to read the social duties that the prophet wrote down. Now, if he was reading the social duties, he wouldn't even be having that conversation nor that thought about what the prophet didn't say wasn't feminine. Like, what did he have against women?
And you can tell a person has an issue against women. And this is the thing.
We're good. We're good, Sabir. It's all about you hearing the mother tell you. Because people don't know how many slaps you got just now. We're just sitting back waiting for our turn. Like, this idiot got everybody's ass beat, jumping on the couch. Right. Isn't he gonna get the message? No. They're not gonna talk about all the times that he cut her off while she was talking and all that stuff. They're not gonna talk about any of that, you know, because this is his platform, so it's gonna run how, you know what I mean? Just go check our archives. Everybody gets to talk. Even the traders get to talk when they come on our stuff. We let them talk. All right. We let them talk. We're just saying that it's about the honors, because remember, it's tag day and all that stuff. So, make sure you go to Khalifa Media, go buy your pins, your Eunice pins. Because Eunice means victory. You know, even the Greeks know. So we give honors, you know, just giving honors to the mother. You know, letting her talk. And the mother's been telling us, you know, it's been telling those who were listening, you know. Everybody's been inspired by the mothers, you know. Jonathan Bay inspired by the mothers. Right? The Banker's Foreclosure Game. Understanding Favorable Post-Foreclosure Scenarios by Jonathan Bay. This is MorrisDirectory.com. We need consulate for if Morris been did this. MorrisDirectory.com. They laid it all down for you. The mortgage document is, promissory note is. Give you all this. Give you all this. But then, you know, we're going to have certain people that are consular and people and all that. You know, trying to push like they're doing something. So all the attention should be on them. You know, look at what we're doing. Look in this direction. But remember, they have badges that you could buy from a Chinese guy. Chinese Moor guy. They got badges that you could buy from him. And all of them are part of the same crew called Moorish American Consulate. Still doing the BS that they've been doing. Pushing the idea of knowing how to get you out of your BS that you got yourself into, which isn't taking any responsibility. If you're just trying to weasel out of some stuff. Now, if you study and apply and fall on your face, and then you get up and then you apply and you fall on your face again, you get up and you apply and then stuff starts going for you, then round of applause for you. Round of applause for you for not having somebody step in between you and you're scraping your knee. So that they scrape their knee, but you don't really get to because you paid them to take it for you or you know. Right? It's a hustle. It's a clout hustle. You know, people get paid for having clout right now. There's clout hustling going on. Right? The fame and nobility is powdered clout. Just particles. Everybody has some particle thinking that they did something. Jonathan Bay told you. They're going to be posting information about cases. Right? Judgment of the case dismissed. As per affidavit of fact, default judgment, Exhibit B. Judgment dismissed. Affidavit of fact, default judgment. Right? void proceeding per affidavit of fact, writ of error, Exhibit C. Case dismissed with prejudice for lack of jurisdiction and fraud. Because that was what was written in the writ of error, that, right? The writ of error is not why this stuff is dismissed. The writ of error is because there's a default judgment. And why would they not let it go into default judgment as soon as they read the affidavit of fact? Isn't that the point? To write something to them so they don't respond, so you can hit them with the default judgment. So anytime it goes to court, you're presenting the default judgment as your evidence to show that they defaulted. Because the contract is between you and them. Whatever name it is that you're using doesn't even matter. You know, as Moors, we say do things in your free national name. You know, everything, any other name is X relation. But, you know, for anybody, now where you're going to get into issues is when it goes to court and you go in there talking about your Negro, black, colored, you lose. And all that paperwork means diddly squat. Because you didn't do it in your free national name. So you do it in the free national name so that you have the ability to write these writs. You don't need some consulate to do that for you. You can go to rvbaypublications.com, go to the writ section, download all those, and practice writing to these people with whatever it is that you got that you think that you're dealing with. Just practice writing to them. Just write them a letter. See what they say. Just see what happens. Who knows? You know what's going to happen. Just take one of these writs, write them. See what happens. I'm not going to pay some guy or go be part of some whatever that's going to do that for you. Why would, if they're doing anything, all they're doing is sealing that and witnessing it. Everything else, you're exercising your right, your God-given right. Once you're not violating anybody else's rights, you have the right. But they're making it a parade. It's not a parade, right? This is the email. It's not a parade. Right? Keep this one. Keep this one. Now remember too, that this is 2015. Right? This is 2015. To everyone who has been given our lien release from Wells Fargo, we are very upset. We just got all these harassing calls from Wells Fargo telling us that they got these packages from two guys about their mortgage, and they put our lien release into their packages. We never gave anyone permission to place our lien release into their packages. They are to study for themselves and get their own lien release. There is no magic pill out there. I had to tell this guy off at Wells Fargo and told him to never call us again, and he apologized because he knows not to bother us for the fraud they committed. These people that did this were like two kids saying, "You gave them some candy. How come we can't get any?" Without even putting in work for the candy. Well, now they'll never know what work is because I'm not telling anyone ever again. So honors to all the mothers who've been putting in their work that already beat these people writing writs. There was no consulate 2015, I'll tell you that. There was no consulate 2015. You realize there's no consulate 2015, right? Yeah, hammer that truth in. Hammer that truth in. Always right on time. You do know that, right? Right? Default judgment. If a defendant in a lawsuit fails to respond to a complaint in the time set by law, then the plaintiff can request that the default be entered into the court record by the clerk, which gives the plaintiff the right to get a default judgment. If the complaint was for a specific amount of money owed on a note, other money due, or a specific contract price, or if the amount due is easy to calculate, then the clerk of the court can enter a default judgment. If proof of damages or other relief is necessary, a hearing will be held in which the judge determines the terms of the default judgment. In either case, the defendant cannot speak for himself or herself. A defendant who fails to file an answer or other legal response when it is due can request that the default be set aside, but must show a legitimate excuse and a good defense in the lawsuit. Right? So by them saying, hey, there's some questions about the language in this contract called a mortgage. And they sent those questions to them. And then these people responded, the mortgage people responded, not addressing any of the questions that were asked. Then they're in default. Because as a corporation, you have to answer up. You're not a person. You're a corporation. Who are you? And I got some questions. So the thing goes into foreclosure because you said, I ain't paying because they didn't answer the questions or whatever. You're going to submit your default judgment with a writ of special appearance. And your default judgment is what you're standing on because they're in default. Hammer that truth in. There's not some advanced stuff. There's some stuff more's been known. There's things that more's been exercised already without consular courts and consular generals and all that. More's just being themselves. It seems like Moors don't want to be themselves. Moors want to be everything else except themselves. They want to be everything else. They want to be secured party creditors and authorized representatives. And they just don't want to be Moors. Being all that stuff is just like being Negro black colored. You're a secured party creditor, you're Negro black colored. Who you fooling? Or you're some title, you're Negro black colored. Who you fooling? What title? You're Vizier what? Grand Sheik what? What are you talking about? You're that before you're a Moor? You can't be two at the same time. You know. Grand Sheik is a seat. You're not sitting in the chair, got the freaking electric Grand Sheik chair riding all over the place. That chair is only at the office, isn't it? Is it not? Or is that you staple that chair to you? And everywhere you go, you hunched over with a chair on your ass, walking around like a dumbass. Right? That's all it is. Hammer it in. We don't care. Just hammer it in. Hammer it in till it's part of every part. till it's part of every part. The truth is going to get hammered in and you can't do anything about it. So just stop the BS and get on the side of truth. Right? Get on the side of truth. Allah is the greatest. Happy holy day to all the Moors. Allah is the greatest. You can't make this stuff up. See, I told the guy upstairs, yeah, at 12:22. At 12:22, start hammering. Yeah, they made that up. We made that up last night. You made that up last night. Don't fall for these people's crap. Don't fall for their crap. All of them. All of them. All of them. They're falling on their swords as we speak. You know, don't laugh though, just they're all falling on their sword. All of them. Let them fall. Don't be putting your hand out and help them and all that stuff. Let them fall on their sword. Let them fall on their sword. Playing with you.
So the paradigm is shifting. The paradigm is shifting not just globally, but cosmically. A whole new cosmic paradigm is right now in the process of emerging, of shifting. So the paradigm shift is here. This collective is right on time. And this is why you're having so much success. Allah is blessing you with success because it's the right idea at the right time. That's the harmony of success. The right ideas at the wrong time never bear fruit. The right idea at the right time is the formula for success. And that's why the paradigm shifters are having so much success, because you are the right idea at the right time. It's the right time because we are literally at the time of the shifting of the paradigm. And the fact that you are paradigm shifting in the name of the star and crescent is right and exact, because we're shifting the two paradigms that are shifting, and that we, the black man and woman in America in particular.
What are you talking about? Think you just say that so easy and it mean nothing? Talking all this paradigm shifting BS, and then you're talking about black people? But Crescent Star, you know, the foundation of Crescent Star with so-called black people is because of Noble Drew Ali. You know, Asiatics in America repping Crescent and Star before Noble Drew Ali. Who are these no fez, no turban imposters? Because they're under the Crescent Star. You see that in their flag. That's what they're under. But that's Drew Ali. Don't tell me some stuff about, oh, it's facing the West and all that BS. No, it's Crescent and Star. Stop this. That's universal. belong to someone. Can't make this up. Can't make this up.
Peace, blessings, and love, family. This is Elder Rasan Shakur out of the great city of New Orleans, Louisiana, coming to you with a great, and very informative video. Peace, blessings, and love to all the melanated family and mankind. Well, family, thanks to one of my subscribers and one of my followers on Facebook, I think it was Brother Aaron Jacobs, who had put a post down, and the post was explaining about the definition of black. Very interesting post. After I read the post, I went and did my research on the definition of the word black. We are not black people, family, at all. The definition and the true meaning of black mean colorless, void of color, pale. If anybody listening to this video don't believe me, go check it out. Go check out the word black in Greek and other European languages. It comes from the Indo-European sector of time. Black means pale. Not brown, not this brown skin you're looking at, of dark chocolate, of caramel. We are not black people. And I would never use the word black in none of my videos no more. But you know I use melanated all the time, most of the time. A lot of videos I put black in because I didn't know no better. But thanks to these brothers and a lot of our people that are working up, each one teach one, let's stop calling ourselves black, because we ain't black. We come from different tribes all over the planet. That's right. Nigerians don't even call themselves black. Botswanians don't call themselves black. Different melanated tribes all over the planet do not call themselves black, because we are not black. We are not void of color. We got color. Black means pale. That's right. That's exactly what it means. In European definition, in Indo-European culture, even in German, and a lot of other Europeans, they know what black means. That's right, family. So that's new information. Let's stop calling ourselves black people, because there ain't no such thing as black people. As a matter of fact, there ain't no such thing as white people either.
Did you know that residents of Ontario who owe more than $6,000 can have up to 8?
When you look at what Jane, I fundamentally believe what's driving all of this is white fear. Republicans are scared to death of black people. They're scared to death of Latinos. Hell, they scared of conscious white folks. And what they're trying to... Go ahead.
Wait a minute. You're using all the wrong terms in the first place.
See, I was waiting on you to go there. Go ahead.
There is no such thing as white people and black people. There are only people who are different shades of brown. But as long as you use the words white and black, white, the definition of white is pure and unvarnished. Black is the color of savagery and ignorance. Now, as long as you use those two terms, we're going to be at one another's throats. If black is the color of savagery and ignorance. Now, as long as you use those two terms, we're going to be at one another's throats. And black, white, the definition of white is pure and unvarnished. Black is the color of savagery and ignorance. Now, as long as you use those two terms, we're going to be at one another's throats. If you'd ever get around to the point that you could look at me and see that I'm not white. My shirt's white, my hair is white, my skin is not. And I can look at CJ there and I can see that his hair is black and his skin is not. That his hair is black and his skin is not. Skin is not. And I can look at CJ there and I can see that his hair is black and his skin is not. As long as you use those two terms, we're going to be at one another's throats. If you'd ever get around to the point that you could look at me and see that I'm not white. My shirt's white, my hair is white, my skin is not. And I can look at CJ there and I can see that his hair is black and his skin is not. If we could get over the idea of several different races, maybe melanemic people, which is what we white folks ought to be called, could get used to realizing that we're all, the whole thing is so ridiculous. That I'm not white. My shirt's white, my hair is white, my skin is not. And I can look at CJ there and I can see that his hair is black and his skin is not. If we could get over the idea of several different races, maybe melanemic people, which is what we white folks ought to be called, could get used to realizing that we're all, the whole thing is so ridiculous. Words are the most powerful weapon devised by humankind. I'm sitting here listening to words being used in ways that will separate us indefinitely. As long as you call yourselves white and black, and as long as you call yourselves members of different races, that, by God, is how long this problem is going to last.
So you call yourself, you said melanemic? What did you say?
Melanemic.
Melanemic, okay. So
if we white folks ought to be called, could get used to realizing that we're all, which is what we white folks ought to be called, and his skin is not. If we could get over the idea of several different races, maybe melanemic people, which is what we white folks ought to be called, could get used to realizing that we're all, the whole thing is so ridiculous. Words are the most powerful weapon devised by humankind. I'm sitting here listening to words being used in ways that will separate us indefinitely. As long as you call yourselves white and black, and as long as you call yourselves members of different races, that, by God, is how long this problem is going to last.
So you call yourself, you said melanemic? What did you say?
Melanemic.
Melanemic, okay. So
if you're anemic, you don't have enough iron in your blood to keep you healthy, so you're called anemic.
So in our public policy, how do we confront the melanemic Republicans who want to prevent the melanated other folk from being able to cast votes, who are able to put in all of these ridiculous measures that they claim is voter
by them having a nationality? Because nationality is the order of the day. Now, you're not going to get some black version of whatever, some orange version, some whatever, because all of it is BS. Nationality is the order of the day. We're not Negro, black, or colored. That's what he's telling you. That's what Drew Ali's telling you. We're not black, they're not white. Once you get over that, according to Jane, once you get over that, then we can start talking about something. Until you get over that, stop talking. Just stop talking.
West Publishing Company. 3, 2. Hi, this is Lala and DIY Life Hack Mama. I'm 2 persons. Anyway, happy Passover. I was just sitting here minding my own business, surfing the net, and I ran across this free white person's passage. I don't even know what I was looking for, but I saw it. And I'm like, that doesn't look like a filter or any type of foolishness. It seems genuine, like it comes from a book, because it was the inner column, right-hand column of a left page. The way the book is slanting, the page is slanting in this meme right here. And I'm like, okay, I understand it's the Naturalization Act. I want to find that passage.
So FYI, when you see definitions highlighted in red like that, they probably got it from rvbaypublications.com. Just to put that out there. Just to put that out there. And the main point of this free white person's definition, which is in Black's Law Dictionary, is it does not mean Caucasian race, Aryan race, or Indo-European races, nor the mixed Indo-European, Dravidian, Semitic, and Mongolian peoples who inhabit Persia. It does not mean Caucasian race. It does not mean Caucasian race. It's European. It's out there doing research, bump into some stuff about black people. Here's black people for you.
Is the black country a...
It's hard being dyslexic, but here's how Speechify has helped millions of people, and it's free.
Here's a question for you. Where exactly is the black country? A simple question, or so you'd think. But for years, a fierce debate has been taking place over its precise location here in the West Midlands. Now, not even this map from the Black Country Living Museum has settled the argument, as plans were announced to mark Black Country Day. Now, we've had a huge response to this map on our Facebook page, including this message from Bill Hollingshead, who's clearly not a fan of maps. He says the Black Country is defined by the way people feel and speak. It's rather like the end of the rainbow. You can point to it, but where is it really? It's a magical, mythical place that has no boundaries. So the only certainty seems to be that a special day to celebrate the region will be held in July. And Dudley was today named capital city of the Black Country. Let's go live now to Sarah Falkland in Dudley. Sarah, you are definitely in the Black Country, aren't you?
Most definitely, at least last time I looked, Mary. But yes, here we are. You could be mistaken, though, for thinking that you weren't in the Black Country, because this building only opened last Tuesday. It's brand spanking new, the Archive Centre here. 800 years of Black Country history, although, as you say, today is as much about the present and the future with the launch of the new Black Country flag. The Black Country, a place west of Birmingham, home to more than 1 million people.
The Black Country is about the people.
We're genuine, we're honest and hard-working.
And now, thanks to this 14-year-old Black Country schoolgirl, they have their own flag.
The Black Country was described as black by day and red by night, so that's why I've done part of it black and part of it red, and then I've done the glass cone in the middle and some chains across it to show all the manufacturing and industry in the area.
We were the core of the industry. Everything came from the Black Country, but it's our accent and people put you down because you haven't got a posh accent.
How about that then, kid? That's Black Country.
The famous dialect aside, July the 14th this year will see the dawn of the first ever Black Country Day.
The Black Country culture is not celebrated enough. Wales has got their dragon, Scotland has got a referendum, and we need to proclaim what England is about, and the Black Country is at the centre of England.
You'll have heard, no doubt, about its canals, how the first steam engine was invented here, not forgetting
there was an incredibly strong iron production industry here. By the mid-1800s, 22% of all of Britain's iron was being produced right here in the Black Country.
But what of today's Black Country?
Somewhere you can find a casino next door to a mosque.
Learn kung fu fighting, then pop over the road for a tea dance. What does it mean to you, the Black Country?
Everything. I was born and bred here. We've got to look after your own roots.
For us, it's where we were brought up.
So I suppose it's a special place.
Well, another man for whom the Black Country is very special, Dr. Brian Dakin. You were born just down the road from here, weren't you?
Albury by the cut, yes, a bit away from here.
Now, you're an expert in the Black Country. What do you think is the essence of Black Countries?
Well, to use a line out of a lyric that I wrote, it's strong guns and warm hearts.
Oh, Hands, yeah.
and heart. Yeah, strong hands and warm heart, which encompasses the industry and the generosity of the people.
What do you think about the future of the Black Country now? A lot of it is, as we say, rooted in the past. Where's it going?
It continues to evolve. It's always evolved. So it will always be here, and it will always just embrace whatever comes into it, really, as a region, yeah.
What do you think about the National Black Country Day?
Boston.
In one word, yeah.
Yeah, Boston in one word. It's fantastic. It's got a day for us to celebrate everything, and there's so on. I mean, you know.
Yeah. But black guys ain't going there. I bet you. Bet you. Black guys aren't going there.
I'm going to call it right now. I think I found the single biggest productivity hack of 2021. It's this Google Chrome extension called Speed.
You know, wherever the Moorish Empire went, and seeing that they have been there since, since the earlier times, right? The earlier periods before new generations are coming in, new migrations coming. I'm just talking about my country, you know. My sensible thinking is telling me, and not just that, and my intuition tells me there is a connection to the Moors, right? So to say I'm black, to say you're black, what does that mean? It literally, actually, if you think about it, now that I'm thinking about it, you know, it kind of excludes the rest of the other people that were also Moorish descent. Right? And what does it mean to say black anyway? What is the definition of black? And then now we gotta contrast that. What is the definition of being a Moor mean? What is a Moor? Because Moor does not designate color. Right? Black is very restricting. And furthermore, who is truly black? Black is the, if you look at it, right, no one is just really black. This is black. This is black. I mean, sure, we can find some different hues of complexion, but no one is just truly completely black. In my thinking, not even the Ita in my country. No. You know, so I think we need to move away from those terms. I don't like yellow. You know, yellow is a word. Again, Eurocentric thinking. They've been calling Chinese yellows. You know, Filipinos brown. It didn't mean anything to us. It doesn't mean anything at all to say, "Hey, you're brown." You know, we call ourselves really Pinoy Pinay, or simply put, Filipino or Filipina. Right? So this is what I'm talking about. I think we need to move away from this conditioned thinking. This is part of the Eurocentric thinking.
It's part of the Eurocentric thinking. It's part of the Eurocentric thinking.
With a lot of the people that lives out here, you probably wouldn't take them to be black people. You might not look black, but you got the black blood into you. Well, my name is Roberta Jeanette Euler, but I go by Bird for a nickname. I've lived here all my life. On my job that I had worked at, they took me to be white. And my best friend, she took me to be white. She was shocked when I told her I'm not white. I am black. I am a black person. And it was, well, you're not that. You think you are. No, I know I am. I was raised that way. But I was also raised, as Mom would say, it doesn't matter what color your skin is. We all serve one God. Now, as you know, this is my home. Over here is my daughter's home, Jessica. Everybody else in here, we're all kinfolks. That's how this community got to be mixed with white and black. It was from the black children. Our children going out marrying white and bringing them in. A lot of them was as light as I am, but we still said we were black. And then we had some real dark ones. But that's okay. They were black, we were black. So that's how this all got started. My grandma, she was half Turk, half black. My grandpa was a white man. My mom registered me as black. My mom she wasn't as fair complected as I am. She was a light tan brown. My dad, he has German, Irish, white. Well, his mother was a white woman. His dad was a colored man. And then as I grew older and I got married and I had my children, I registered my children as black.
I have found that stone that was here down the mountain.
Most of them in this area goes as black. We've got maybe 2, 3 families that considers themselves being white. But the rest of us in here, we consider ourselves being black.
You know this country is prejudiced, always have been, and it never will grow out of it. I was in the service in '66. Yeah, I circled black, Negro. He said, you can't circle that. I said, that's what I am. Well, he kind of smiled, and he said, circle this. I said, okay, which meant Caucasian. I didn't show my color, but I know what I was. And I ain't going to tell you about my race. My mom raised me as Negro. Oh, I had a lot of people ask me, say, why did your mom raise you as a Negro? I said, that's what I am. They said, yeah, but you don't show it. I said, it's going to come a time where white won't accept you and the Negroes will accept you. I said, I'll wait it out. That's all you can do.
He'll shout the victory. Yes. He'll break through the blue.
Yes, yes.
Some golden daybreak for me and for you.
Amen.
Growing up, I was always taught that I was black. I started into school and didn't really think much about it until I got into the elementary. I'm going to say around about 3rd or 4th grade. That's when I started noticing the difference. I started noticing I was being taught that I was black, but I didn't look black. Other children didn't view me as black. Even some of those other kids made fun of me because, why are you saying you're black when you're white? It wasn't until I reached about junior high and then I realized I'm white. That is what I am. Yes, I know I was raised black and was told I was black, but I am white. What black person has blonde hair, blue eyes, and fair complected and can hardly tan besides burning? I'm white.
You don't have to look black to be black. I know she don't look black, but she has got black in her. She's right. She's got a lot of different kind in her. But I am...
She sure looks black. You see the madness that people are going through with this dumb stuff? Just say your nationality, you wouldn't be having any issues. See all this madness? Right? Because when you look at her mom's light skin. Blonde hair, blue eye. The blonde hair, blue eye. Right? See her mom's light skin. Right? So, if we go back to the elder, black means pale, then yeah, they're black. Yeah, they're black. If black means pale, then these are the black people. If you don't look like these people, you're not black. Yeah, and this is the real struggle, the identity crisis. That you have black people who are actually black not being accepted that they're black because brown people want to be black, even though they're brown, different shades of brown or whatever. But they don't want to be that. They want to be black, which they're not. It's called Eddie Murphy, Dan Aykroyd, Trading Places. That's what it is. It's Danny DeVito, Arnold Schwarzenegger, twins. And that's what it is. The black white, you're not winning. Okay, what you try. Okay, what you try. You're not winning.
Us so-called black people have an interesting history in the Americas. Since the 1850s, we've had at least 4 legal proper nouns attributed to our race, but none of these nouns are nouns at all. They're adjectives, only describing our physical appearance, not our nation of origin. When slavery was abolished, or evolved for the truthers, in 1855, I imagine the government knew it had to find a new word to call the alleged used to be slaves, so they referred to us as colored. A term that was very short-lived and quickly replaced with Negro as early as 1897 with the creation of the American Negro Academy. Many other Negro organizations followed suit for quite a while, like the Negro Major Leagues in 1920 and the American Negro Theater in 1940, but pseudo-proper noun prefaces became tricky in the mid-1900s. Blacks didn't take too kindly to being called Negro by whites and referred to each other as Black, Afro-American, and African-American starting in the 50s. The latter being popularized by Jesse Jackson on a broadcast TV interview in the 80s. Today, we simply accept being called black, but again, black is an adjective, not a proper noun. So what exactly are the black people in America in terms of nation of origin? Some can actually claim African, but remember, Africa is a continent, not a country, so what part of Africa? Furthermore, anyone familiar with Africans or who have met one will notice that Africans and Americans are not one and the same. Different facial features, different tongues, two different people. So again, I ask, if all black people aren't from Africa, then what's our nation? Here's an interesting quote from Benjamin Franklin's America as a Land of Opportunity address in 1751. And I quote, this is a quote, "All of Asia, Africa, and America are swarthy." He even goes on to say that Russia, Italy, Spain, France, Sweden, and Germany are black, as well as the Scots, the Welsh, and the Irish. It's quite a lot of places. Interesting thing for a white man to say publicly 300 years ago, if you ask me, but my belief is that anybody from any one of the nations he named knows that there are, in fact, from there, if they truly are, unless they're ignorant, except for one. Guess who? The Americans. Us Americans are world infamous for our ignorance. Rightfully so, I suppose. I mean, see, we all know the history that we've been indoctrinated with in public school is false, but as a whole, we put little to no effort into finding the truth. Therefore, we don't have the slightest clue about what tribe we originate from. And then to make matters of origin even more complex, the 14th Amendment to the Constitution in 1868 nationalized most people in the Americas as a citizen of the United States. So now, legally, whatever natural right you had from birth in America is legally voided. You now have United States citizen privileges because you can't have citizenship in one country and be a national in another. So here we are. Present day North and Mexican America, the United States Corporation, selecting black or African American on our legal documents as if that's who we really are. Black, Negro, African American, colored, these are all misnomers, misconceptions, errors. Now look around. What do you see here? A large specific archetype of people being treated like their status has no relevance?
Yep. So you see, because the black man funeral director, and the devil. You see all the bad stuff happening to you or whatever like that, and then the devil's evil, and then black man means devil, but you're not going to listen to that because that's the white man's dictionary. You're going to keep calling yourself black man. And don't know why death keeps following you. Never figured it out yet, huh? Yeah, funeral director. Imagine that. Imagine that. Yeah, we might as well hit this off for all the black whoever's. For all the black whoever's.
Those of you who've been around me know that I've now begun to go back to myself. Go back to that which I believe will sustain me and that which will help to purify me, and have begun to push back and ignore that which I had fallen back down to. More and more I am being guided to study more. And if you are not grounded properly, then you are not going to pick up the correct vibrations from the universe and the cosmos. More and more I am being guided to study more. Or if we are trying to lift our brother or sister up, the way we do it is just as important as what we say. How we approach them is just as important. Huh? More and more I am being guided to study more. I have found since my days with the Nation of Islam and no longer being in the mosque, that I now draw from all of our spiritual expressions. And that I now have come to, as many of you have heard me say many times, while I was supreme captain or national spokesman or whatever in the Nation of Islam, that if it were not for Africa, if it were not for the original black man and black woman, there would be no Islam, no Christianity, no Judaism. None of the world's major religions, as Dr. Yosef Ben Yochanan, Dr. John Henry Clark, and others have taught us, would be in existence if there were no original black man and woman and no Africa. Africa as it is called now. More and more I am being guided to study more. And I hope that the ancestors will guide me to touch on this Africa thing. To touch on Asiatic. Oh, they say, oh, you got to know what you're doing, boy. But you know it's a whole lot of us in here. I understand more. I'm a more. I understand that nationality is the order of the day. It is. That's right. I understand that. More and more I am being guided to study more. I can't say that I love you, that I care for you, that you are my sister, you are my brother, taking the prefix BR off and leaving other, that you are my other self. And I do not act morally and righteously toward you. I cannot do it. I make myself alive. More and more I am being guided to study more. Muslim. Are you a Muslim, Khalid? Yes, I am. But I'm a Moor. Islam. I'm a Moor. And got sense enough to know I'm a Moor. Muslim, Khalid? Yes, I am. But I'm a Moor. Myself alive. More and more I am being guided to study more. Muslim. Are you a Muslim, Khalid? Yes, I am. But I'm a Moor. More and more I am being guided to study more. Muslim. Are you a Muslim, Khalid? Yes, I am. But I'm a Moor. Islam. I'm a Moor. And got sense enough to know I'm a Moor. And ain't gonna never argue with you that I'm not a Moor. and wouldn't come in your house or come among you and say I'm a Moor if I didn't feel in my heart, in my mind, in my soul that I am. More and more I am being guided to study more. Muslim. Are you a Muslim, Khalid? Yes, I am. But I'm a Moor. Islam. I'm a Moor. And got sense enough to know I'm a Moor. And ain't gonna never argue with you that I'm not a Moor. And wouldn't come in your house or come among you and say I'm a Moor if I didn't feel in my heart, in my mind, in my soul that I am. I would tell you, God damn it, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Ain't no more. So if I say it, I mean it. And if I mean it, generally, I say it. Are you a Muslim? Yes. But I know my roots. And I ain't Kunta Kinte.
I ain't Kunta Kinte. I know my roots. But I ain't Kunta Kinte.
Finances and I need it badly. Or on what?
But you know what? But you know what? In this electrifying age of information, it's not really matter finance. You just go on the web and do something on newsletter like that now. And the Prophet transformed in 1929 and said the electrifying age is a hint to you. So doing a newspaper does, like you said, it would cost finances. I used to do one before I even knew all of this.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yes. So now you might not be able to do that without finances right now. But you can go on the press. I mean, you can go on the web.
I'll construct a newspaper right on the press.
Right on the website.
And see.
And you know what happens? And let's say this. What happens is like the day that they took the sister Africa Ray and all that, the sister and Eve got like 15,000 hits in one night. Now this was a revelation to us, right? It was an unveiling. And one night there was 15,000 hits on her site. You know why? Yeah. Because the only place that they could come to hear anything from a perspective, that's when it was unveiled, is from the sites that we put up. Yeah. So don't be thinking you gotta do it like yes. So now you might not be able to do that without finances right now. But you can go on the press. I mean, you can go on the web.
I'll construct a newspaper right on the press.
Right on the website.
You can see.
And you know what happens? And let's say this. What happens is like the day that they took the sister Africa Ray and all that, the sister and Eve got like 15,000 hits in one night. Now this was a revelation to us, right? It was an unveiling. And one night there was 15,000 hits on her site. You know why? Yeah. Because the only place that they could come to hear anything from a perspective, that's when it was unveiled, is from the sites that we put up. Yeah. So don't be thinking you
and the Grand Sheiks was supposed to step up immediately. But instead they attacked her in violation of what? Chapter 25 and Act 3. Accept a stranger before their own blood. Most of them didn't even have a deposition, don't even know what really took place. They ain't the real Moors, they ain't in our club. Wow. Do you understand? Yeah. In violation of their own law. They don't even know what was used. Do you understand? We're wrong. Oh, they don't like you at all. I don't care. You the most hated. And guess what? I love it. You know, because I'm not here for them. I don't play with them. They can run around their peacock chests all day long. I'm here for you the most hated. And guess what? I love it. You know, because I'm not here for them. I don't play with them. You the most hated. And guess what? I love it. You know, because I'm not here for them. I don't play with them. They can run around their peacock chests all day long. I'm here for these babies.
But you know
what I mean?
It's true, but they really are saying a lot to the people too.
It doesn't matter.
You know why? Doing clubs like you're not. They're breathing with.
Let's put it this way. We raised the bar so high that they can never touch it.
That's
right. Even though we haven't done the best that we can do. You the most hated. And guess what? I love it. You know, because I'm not here for them. I don't play with them. They can run around their peacock chests all day long. I'm here for these babies.
But you know
what I mean?
It's true, but they really are saying a lot to the people too.
It doesn't matter.
If they're doing clubs, like they're breathing.
Let's put it this way. We raised the bar so high that they can never touch it.
That's right.
Even though we haven't done the best that we can do.
No.
And the more they talk, the more they bury themselves. Because they had nothing to say to these people until they got conscious. Now they got everything to say. That's fine. But guess what? As these people study, they're going to recognize, reading the prophet's literature, that these people are co-operatives.
And Todd, you know what else too, what they did as well? Again, with the electrifying age of information, they started feeling so puffed up about themselves and about the work that we were doing that they was contrary to, that they decided they were going to go onto the web and do their Sunday school and show everybody how it's done. Well, what happened was when they went on the web and showed everybody how they do it, it enforced what we were telling the people is that they were reverse church.
Yeah.
So they only really showed that, you know what? They're right. They are doing reverse church.
And all people have to do, and the more they talk, the more they bury themselves. Because they had nothing to say to these people until they got conscious. Now they got everything to say. That's fine. But guess what? As these people study, they're going to recognize, reading the prophet's literature, that these people are co-operatives. And the more they talk, the more they bury themselves. Because they had nothing to say to these people until they got conscious. Now they got everything to say. That's fine. But guess what? As these people study, they're going to recognize, reading the prophet's literature, that these people are co-operatives.
And Todd, you know what else too, what they did as well? Again, with the electrifying age of information, they started feeling so puffed up about themselves and about the work that we were doing that they was contrary to, that they decided they were going to go onto the web and do their Sunday school and show everybody how it's done. Well, what happened was when they went on the web and showed everybody how they do it, it enforced what we were telling the people is that they were reverse church.
Yeah.
So they only really showed that, you know what? They're right. They are doing reverse church.
And all people have to do is read the divine warning by the prophet for the nations, divine plea to the nation, Moorish leaders' message to America, just those three. Although if we caveat into religious controversy, just those three, and it will easily expose these people. That's another reason why they make it so difficult for people to get literature. Because they already know, once these people start really reading what the prophet said and his oral statements, you give somebody that come right out the woods, don't know nothing about this, give them the divine warning by the prophet for the nations. The prophet makes plea to the nations. The Moorish leaders' message to America. Religious controversy. You don't even have to give them the question. Divine warning by the prophet for the nations. Divine plea to the nation. Moorish leaders' message to America. Just those three. Although
stuff about themselves and about the work that we were doing that they was contrary to, that they decided they were going to go onto the web and do their Sunday school and show everybody how it's done. Well, what happened was when they went on the web and showed everybody how they do it, it enforced what we were telling the people is that they were reverse church.
Yeah.
So they only really showed that, you know what? They're right. They are doing reverse church.
And all people have to do is read the divine warning by the prophet for the nations, divine plea to the nation, Moorish leaders' message to America, just those three. Although if we caveat into religious controversy, just those three, and it will easily expose these people. That's another reason why they make it so difficult for people to get literature. Because they already know, once these people start really reading what the prophet said and his oral statements, you give somebody that come right out the woods, don't know nothing about this, give them the divine warning by the prophet for the nations. The prophet makes plea to the nations. The Moorish leaders' message to America. Religious controversy. You don't even have to give them the questionnaire in the Quran. Just give them that. Right? And the FBI papers. And them grand chicks and governors be lucky if they ain't hanging from the poles the next day. No, it's the truth. Especially them FBI papers. You know, that's why they don't want them Moors to see them FBI papers, because somebody who don't know nothing can see it and see what's wrong with this movement and why they ain't got no schools, why they don't have no buses, why there's no newspaper, why they're doing this reverse church thing, why you see these schisms of divisions and all the scenario in the Quran. Just give them that, right? And the FBI papers and them grand chicks and governors be lucky if they ain't hanging from the poles the next day. No, it's the truth. Especially them FBI papers. You know, that's why they don't want them Moors to see them FBI papers, because somebody who don't know nothing can see it and see what's wrong with this movement and why they ain't got no schools, why they don't have no buses, why there's no newspaper, why they're doing this reverse church thing, why you see these schisms of divisions and all these clubisms. Do you understand? It's so clear.
It's clear. May I say too that I in fact read out of 3,100 or some odd papers, I read close to 2,000 until it became extremely redundant. And if we could really get an understanding in ourselves about what happened in short, as you're saying, you could clearly see that after the prophet left the scene, nobody could really fill his shoes, although they wanted to. And then later, when it became to the 1940s, when this infiltration really came, and they said that we were being, Moors were sympathizing with the Japan. Okay, all right. So then they started questioning and infiltrating and going to each temple and questioning, and people started running their mouths. Those who didn't know yet, they, whatever. So now each temple started to feel as if they didn't know who to trust in their own temple membership. Various temples across the nation. So everybody shut up. And guess what? That's what they do now. They don't even talk to each other. A temple don't talk to another temple.
Then they get one of the COINTELPRO, if you pay attention, they get one of the COINTELPRO grand chiefs to do an interview with the newspaper, and then they attack the other Moors.
Well, let's add this too. Yes, they do, all the time. But remember this. In their own temple membership, various temples across the nation. So everybody shut up. And guess what? That's what they do now. They don't even talk to each other. A temple don't talk to another temple.
Then they get one of the COINTELPRO, if you pay attention, they get one of the COINTELPRO grand chiefs to do an interview with the newspaper, and then they attack the other chiefs. To do an interview with the newspaper, and then they attack the other Moors.
Well, let's add this too. Each other, a temple don't talk to another temple.
Then they get one of the COINTELPRO, if you pay attention, they get one of the COINTELPRO grand chiefs to do an interview with the newspaper, and then they attack the other Moors.
Well, let's add this too. Yes, they do, all the time. But remember this. When they tell you that they're making an agreement with the state, remember that states can't make treaties agreements. So that shows you that the grand chiefs don't know law.
No.
And they're trying to sell you out.
They don't.
No, they're trying to sell their people out. Yes, they're trying to sell their people out.
They figure the Moorish Americans, because they've been controlling them, don't know better and won't charge them.
Yes.
And remove them from office according to the additional bylaws, Act 1, which I read, and caveat emptor. See, because they figure if they control the education, they keep these people just spooky doing hallelujah to you. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's what they're doing. You know, they seat warmers and bill payers. You know, and then the next generation don't have a chance because they don't have a reference point. You see, and every generation that goes down has less and less reference point. That's why they don't want them schools in them temples yet. It's a requirement that every temple have a school. If it ain't got school, they ain't temple yet. You see the whole point? It doesn't have a news press. It's not a temple.
But then
if they don't teach constitutional principles, it's not a temple. Those are at the heart of the movement. How many temples you walk in where they're teaching constitutional principles? That's at the heart of the divine warning by the prophet for the nations. And yet they get away with it because people aren't reading. You see, how can you get away when the divine warning by the prophet for the nation says, help me in my mission to bring my people back into the constitutional fold of government, enforcing our Constitution of the United States of America, and then you go to a Moorish American in a temple and they don't know constitutional law? What does it tell you?
That's right. Here it is.
There it is. Happy holy day to all the Moors. Islam, time to get fat. Fast breaking time. Peace and love to all. Honors to all the mothers worldwide. Honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali for bringing us back the truth about our nationality and our birthrights, that we're not Negro, black, colored, Ethiopian, or any other misnomers. We're Moors. Islam to all the Moors.